4:44.34.
Great finishing there from Emma Smith, Abbott, and Zarina Brown. Great way to start off the medals today.
0.4 separating first and second in a 500 free. That
great stuff.
Is some great racing. We have Emma Smith. Oh, she gave it her all in that one, and that showed.
Sophomore from University of Connecticut, and Abbott with the silver. We did say she's a senior. It's her final 500-yard freestyle race. Good for her to get a medal in her final event.
She certainly gave it all as well. Great job, and it's very exciting to get a medal.
Right. So great swim for her final 500-yard freestyle, but it is Emma Smith coming out on top. Let's take a look back at what we just saw. That was the start. At the beginning, it looked like it was from lane 1. Sydney King was off to a good start, but then on the turns the entire way through, about halfway towards that race, it was just all Emma Smith just taking it home.
Yeah, she certainly had some great turns, and that really, really helped her to pull ahead throughout this race.
Yeah, it was right about at this point where Emma Smith took over Marion Abbott from ECU, and it was neck and neck between them for quite some time. And she just kept that separation. She kept pushing, and she didn't look back, just worried about her own swim. That's definitely what it looked like. You see there more separation between her and Abbott and Zarina Brown, and, you know, just pretty much the same rest of the way.
Marianne held on, but in the end, Emma just, with all those turns, great technique, and she really, really brought it home. On that last 50, she went for it.
As soon as it looked like Marion was about to make a comeback, Emma Smith just kept pushing harder. And like you said, those turns underwater, just very impressive to watch.
It all adds up in a 500.
And that does it for the women's 500-yard freestyle. We'll be back right after this on the American Digital Network.
For now, the ECU men's swim and dive team is split in two, half on purple and half on gold. But after their inter-squad meet, the Pirates are going to come together for a goal they've accomplished the past 2 years.
I'll say there's nothing like that feeling of winning last season, so we absolutely want to go back and repeat.
Or three-peat. When the team entered a new league 2 years ago, they wanted to bring home ECU's first American Conference Championship. However, one just wasn't enough.
You know, one is great, two is unbelievable. The third one may be, you know, last time the girls did it, they called them a dynasty.
If this past weekend was any indication of what lies ahead, the Pirates could be even better.
This purple gold meet actually is one of the fastest I've witnessed my past 2 years here. And we're just trying to stay on top, bring back another championship to Greenville, and hopefully we can do that.
But their early success in the water may have started on land. During the month of September, the Pirates
And we're back in Houston. You can see the medal ceremony taking place for the women's 500-yard freestyle. It was a great race all the way. Emma Smith taking the gold. She makes her way up the podium. Great race for all three swimmers. Emma Smith right there from UConn. She finished with a final time of 4:44.34. Marion Abbott from ECU finished 4:44.73. And University of Houston's Serena Brown, 4:47.11. And let's send it over to Danny, who's standing by with Emma Smith.
Here with Emma Smith, the champion of the women's 500-yard freestyle. Congratulations, Emma. That was a phenomenal swim. How does this set you up for the rest of the meet, and how did that race feel for you?
It felt really good. Had to really hit it the second half, but I'm excited because I hope it translates into good mile on Saturday.
Absolutely. Well, good luck. We look forward to seeing you. And back to you, AB.
Thank you, Danny. Let's just go over her splits. But actually, before we do that, it looks like the men's 500-yard freestyle is just about to get underway. It is the consolation heat that they will be swimming first. Let's go over the lane assignments. In lane 1, we have Pat Kamenhoff from Connecticut. In 2, Manuel Alvarez Garcia, the sophomore from ECU. In lane 3, Tyler Jones, the freshman from Cincinnati. In lane 4, Lucas Shanky from SMU. In 5, Chris Gerg, the senior from Connecticut. In lane 6, Matt Colkett, the senior from SMU. In lane 7, George Epsley from Cincinnati. And in lane 8, Kyle Kimura, the junior from UConn. The men's 500-yard freestyle consolation heat about to get underway. Like a good start there from Pat Kamenhoff from UConn.
Absolutely.
But slowing down on the dive in lane 3 right now. Tyler Jones, quick on the turn. Or excuse me, lane 4. That was Lucas Shanky.
Currently first in this consolation heat. Great swim this morning.
Yeah, had a prelim of 4:27.02.
He actually dropped 6 seconds from his entry time this morning. So great swim by him. We'll see if he was saving up this morning for this afternoon.
And we were talking earlier, Danny, that's usually what they do according to your experience. You know, during the preliminaries or during the seeded times, they just want to kind of take it not too easy, but good enough to where you get a good spot. Fortunately, not for these student athletes who didn't make it to the final, maybe when they're trying to get to the top 8 seeds, but definitely still applies. You know, we'll see if they can make a quicker time.
Yes, on these longer races, sometimes you hold back in the morning just to make sure that you have enough energy to compete again in the evening and make sure that you have all you've got for that, especially if you're in the final heat.
Right.
You know, you save your legs a little bit. Don't go out as fast as you would in the evening just to conserve a little energy. And these swimmers, I mean, they're probably swimming the mile as well on Saturday, so they've got a long week ahead of them, and it can be very, very grueling on the body. So sometimes in the morning swim, you kind of hold back a little bit, not too much, but you want to make sure you get into the finals. So it's a fine line that you walk.
Right.
But then after you see what everyone's gone, you can kind of see how much you need to pick it up or pull it back in the morning. And we have Lucas Shanky
from SMU, quick on those turns.
He's doing a great job holding everyone off.
He's in lane 4, followed by Chris Gerg and UConn from lane 5.
And he's doing a great job staying with him. Let's see what he has in this last few laps. Some very, very strong swimming by these guys. They don't look like they're putting too much effort into it yet, but just enough to pull away from the pack.
Yeah, those two look like they're separating themselves. generally what we see in these longer type of races. Sophomore from SMU in the top spot right now, followed by from Chris Kirk from UConn.
He's staying with him, though.
Yeah, definitely is. Maybe we'll see what they have in store for us towards the end of the race.
We'll see if Chris can pull up in the last 50 and make a move.
Right now, Shanky had the split at 3:31.54.
Looks like Gerg is starting to make his move.
Definitely is. Coming even closer than we saw towards the beginning of this race. And it looks like he might be taking the lead.
Neck and neck right now.
We hear the bell.
Looks like he led into that turn.
And the final lap, Chris Kirk in the lead in front of Shanky from SMU.
We're having a great race here.
A race between gold and silver. Chris Kirk was just saving it towards the end.
He definitely strategized that race correctly because he has more than enough left in the tank to bring it home, and that he is going to do.
And that goes the gold medal to Chris Kirk from UConn. And in second, Lucas Shanky.
Great job by those guys.
And in third place, Matt Kolkin. Just a lot of separation between Chris Kirk and Lucas Shanky. They didn't have much separation, excuse me. I'm referring to the rest of the pack. I mean, we couldn't even see Matt Kolkin, the third place finisher, until the end of the race there.
But you can definitely see that Chris brought it home with a 26-2.
Like we said, he might have been just saving it towards the end and looked like he could have swam another lap and still won this thing.
Absolutely. He strategized that race perfectly. He brought that last 50 back like a walk in the park. I mean, it looked effortless.
Yeah. Maybe he should go swim in the freestyle later today, the 50-yard freestyle. All right, well, you see the next set of swimmers coming in. This will be the final heat. The men's 500-yard freestyle final heat about to go underway. The swimmers just coming in right now, about to make their preparations before they get on the blocks. Let's go ahead and give you your lane assignments. Carson Klein from SMU, the brother of, I'm sure you've heard of him from yesterday's diving, Bryce Klein. A pair of brothers on the SMU team. In lane 2, Blaz Demsar from ECU. In lane 3, Din Selmovic, the freshman from Cincinnati. In lane 4, Carl Bishop, you see him right there, freshman from UConn. In lane 5, Jonathan Gomez, junior from SMU. In lane 6, Christopher Breedy, junior from Cincinnati. His teammate in lane 7, Justin Crew, the sophomore. And rounding it out in lane 8 is Griga Popovic from ECU.
Going to be some fast swimming tonight from these guys. They had a great prelim, so I'm excited to see what they're going to do in this final.
This is the men's 500-yard freestyle final heat. A medal event on day 2 of the American Conference Championships.
Got some good starts there.
We'll see where they stand on the turn. You know, it's generally really quiet towards the beginning of the race with the fans and everything. They're trying to give the swimmers their concentration at the beginning and then just cheering on towards the end. Is there like some strategy behind that, Daniel?
Well,
that you know of?
Well, you can't talk during the start, so I think it just kind of builds from there. So people start getting more and more excited as the race goes on.
Right.
I think they're just waiting to see how it plays out. And then towards the end, when things start changing around, as we've seen through these last 3 heats, people start getting pretty excited. Teammates start getting in there, getting excited, and I know a lot of people start to cheer towards the last 100, last 50, just to get these swimmers amped. I mean, it is hard to swim that first 450. I mean, to swim any of it, honestly, but that first 450 and then get them to bring it home in that last 50 means a ton. So swimmers start getting real loud towards that last 150, 100, last 50, just to get these swimmers ready to go and get them to get some points on the board and ideally a best time.
So it looked like Din Selmovic from Cincinnati, the freshman, in the lead right now. Quick on the turn there is Din.
He's doing a great job out of lane 3. Din actually dropped 7 seconds from this morning's seated entry time. So great job. Let's see how much he can drop this evening.
Still trying to pull himself ahead of the pack. 2 minutes into this race now. Still first off the turn.
Looks like we have Jonathan Gomez in second as of right now, but we have Carl Bishop trying to come in and pull his way to first.
And we see SMU trying to swim strong. That's Jonathan Gomez. Gomez trying to close in the gap.
And Gomez doing a great job of that.
He's ahead of the pack now, currently. Off the turn.
Some big breaths there by Gomez. He's holding on, and he is holding strong.
And when the crowd starts cheering, you know we're towards the end of this race. Gomez in the lead right now in lane 5. Trying to get some points for SMU in this medal race. Separating himself from the pack.
He is definitely pushing.
By over a second. Gomez pushing strong, can hardly see the other swimmers now.
Din Selmanovic holding on for second.
Going on the 17th lap now.
Jonathan Gomez.
Goodness, he was steady in that second spot, and now he's just sprinting.
Hopefully he can hold on.
We see Din Selmovic trying to come back, but right now it doesn't look like Gomez is going to give it to anyone.
He needs to stay strong through this last 50.
Jonathan Gomez finishing strong for SMU. What a race from the junior. And it is Jonathan Gomez with the gold, followed by Din Selmovic in second, and in third, Christopher Breedy from Cincinnati.
Great job by those guys. Some fast swimming there. That was incredible to watch.
There you see the final times. You can see the final times there. Jonathan Gomez, 4:17.68. Din Selmanovic from Cincinnati with a 4:20.44. And the bronze is Christopher Breedy from Cincinnati as well with a 4:21.38. So you saw the 500-yard freestyle men's race take place just now. Medal ceremony coming up right after this.
At SMU, students and faculty work hand in hand to shape answers to real-world challenges.
Yes, there's no such thing as a lesser person.
How can we strengthen human rights around the world?
It turns out computer malware is extremely...
How do we prevent cyber terrorism?
The limb comes off.
How can the human body set new records of performance? What can presidents teach us about leadership? From the SMU campus in Dallas, we're shaping the answers that will shape the future of the world.
right, we just saw the men's 500-yard freestyle medal race. We're about to watch the replay from what we just saw. And here we go. It was off to a good start. The winner eventually was Jonathan Gomez. He was steady in that second spot most of the race. You see him there in lane 5. And about halfway through, you can just see him pushing, and just getting it towards the end. And we saw Cincinnati's Den Selmanovic, holding the lead for most of the race. But as Danny mentioned, it's in these races, you just have to pace yourself. You have to know how fast you can go towards the end. It's just a matter of that pace towards the beginning of the race, halfway through. And now we clearly saw the separation from Jonathan Gomez, SMU's junior standout in this race. And coming in towards the close was Jonathan Gomez. Final time of 4:17.68 in the men's 500-yard freestyle. Also a good race from number 2 finisher Din Selmanovic from Cincinnati. He, like we said, holding the lead most of the race, couldn't catch up to Jonathan Gomez after he passed him up. And then in third for bronze will be Christopher Breedy from Cincinnati as well. So overall, as a team, a good race from Cincinnati. And Danny standing by with Jonathan Gomez.
I'm here with Jonathan Gomez of SMU, the winner of the men's 500-yard freestyle. Jonathan, amazing race. That was fantastic to watch. How does that set you up for the rest of this meet? And where does that leave you? I mean, you broke a meet record. That's amazing.
Yeah, we came here with a plan. We're ready. We work hard all year, and I think God gives the person who worked the hardest the award, and I think we definitely earned this race, and we will earn many more.
You certainly did. Congratulations, and we're excited to see you the rest of this week. Back to you, AB.
Thank you, Danny. He did indeed break a meet record, which was originally set by Kristen Struble, who will be competing later on today. That record was at 4:18.23, set in 2015. And like we said, Jonathan Gomez's final time, 4:17.68. Now we're about to move on over to the women's 200-yard individual medley, the consolation heat. And the swimmers are on the blocks. The medley consists of 4 strokes: the butterfly, backstroke, breaststroke, and freestyle, in that order. So you see they're off with the butterfly. 1 lap each for each stroke.
All right, we're going on to the backstroke now.
And on the backstroke, it looked like lane 2, Joy Jason from Tulane had a good start. But the ECU Yellow Caps staying in the lead. that's ECU's Julie LaJoy in lane 5. And now moving over to the breaststroke.
We had a great turn by Julie. Great transition.
Julie staying in there strong, followed by SMU's Christy McLaughlin in lane 4. And in third right now, right behind her, is Victoria Roby. In lane, is Dee Sopapone from Cincinnati.
Last 50, time to bring it home for these girls.
And the freestyle, SMU and ECU neck and neck.
SMU looks like they're starting to get a little bit of a lead there.
Kirsty McLaughlin was trying to push, but Julie LaJoy, but a good turn there from SMU's McLaughlin. She looks like she's going to push hard, but LaJoy coming in strong. It's going to come down to the finish. SMU again with the lead, and she will finish first. That's McLaughlin from SMU taking first place in this race.
SMU with a touch there. The finish on this race is so important.
Great finish from all swimmers. See McLaughlin there, happy with their race, and you see the results. Kirsten McLaughlin finishing at 2:01.49, followed by Julie LaJoy at 2:01.69. And in third place, Victoria Robeek from University of Houston at 2:03.73.
Great job by these girls. They definitely brought it home strong and pulled away from the pack there. SMU and ECU, first and second on that. Great job.
So that was the women's 200-yard IM consolation heat. And the women's 200-yard individual medley final heat about to get underway. You see the swimmers coming in there. In lane 1 is Eleanor Sills from Tulane. Margot Manning from Connecticut in lane 2, both seniors. Cincinnati in lane 3, that's Samantha Wheatley. In lane 4, the freshman from Houston, Laura Latero. In lane 5, Michelle Zelnick from Tulane. In 6, Peyton Condist, freshman from Houston as well. And in 7, Audrey Santa, junior from SMU. And in lane 8, Tori Angermeyer, junior from ECU. So Danny, the consolation heat was a great one to watch. McLaughlin, the defending champion, actually, forgot to mention that earlier on. In this event, she was not able to make it to this final top 8 medal race, but she still swam her heart out, it looked like, in that in the consolation. So good to see that from her.
Absolutely. She was trying to bring it home there and show that there was a reason she was the defending champion. So hopefully next year for her.
Well, unfortunately, she is a senior, so that was a good way to cap off that medley. But the final about to get underway. And they start off with the butterfly. We'll see who touches first on this angle. It looked like in lane 7 we saw Audrey Santa from SMU.
Some strong swimming from Audrey over there.
Yeah, she still looks like she's ahead of the pack as they head into the backstroke. But coming underneath in lane 3, or in lane 1, excuse me, Eleanor Sills from Tulane.
Very, very strong on that turn there. See if she can hold off through this backstroke.
Still look like she's ahead.
She is doing a great job holding off the pack.
But it's getting closer and closer towards the middle of the pool. We see U of H's Laura Latero. And going into the breaststroke now. Eleanor Sills in lane 1. U of H's Latero in lane 4. Right now, Latero and Michelle Zelnick from Tulsa as well.
Definitely a battle in this race. We've got some, everyone is close on this one.
And we also see, like we said, Michelle Zelnick right there. And in lane 2, Margot Manning making a strong comeback on the freestyle.
This is where we're going to see people pull apart.
Saving it towards the end. U of H's Laura Latero quick on the underwater turn. It's coming down to U of H's Latero. And in lane 3, Wheatley. Latero separating herself, gets the win. She wins gold for the University of Houston. Finishing second, Samantha Wheatley. And taking the bronze is Michelle Zelnick from Tulsa.
Great job by Laura there. She had the ability to hold everyone off on that last 53, and that is very, very important in this race. To just be able to keep everyone at bay and make sure nobody tries to bridge that gap at the end of that race.
That was really towards the breaststroke. We saw her separating herself, and then the freestyle, she just let it all out there. Laura Latero finishing with a final time of 2 minutes and 2/100ths of a second.
That race can really go any way, depending on what stroke that swimmer is best at.
Here's what we just saw. From the beginning, it looked like Eleanor Sills from Tulane was off to a good start. Right around this point, it was all neck and neck between the swimmers. And still, Latero was separating herself from the pack right here. And this was on the breaststroke.
She certainly held up strong throughout.
And right here, they go into the freestyle. And the last length, all on sprint from U of H's freshman. A great way to start off her first championship meet. And it looks like the men's 200-yard individual medley consolation heat is about to get underway as well now. So we'll go ahead and introduce the lane assignments. We have Duncan Brookover, the freshman from SMU. Three athletes from SMU competing right next to each other. In lane 2, Ronan Four, freshman from SMU as well. And Brandon Norman in lane 3, the senior. In lane 4, Esteban Araya. In lane 5, Mark Hunter, sophomore from UConn. In lane 7, Garrett Carson. In lane 6, Garrett Carson. In lane 7, Andrew Proper. And in lane 8, Simon Golchek.
Great showing from SMU in this heat. They have 5 swimmers. It's got to be exciting for them. It's going to help get them pumped up.
5 swimmers in one race from the same school. First time we've seen that in these championships.
We're certainly going to hear quite the cheering crowd from SMU.
That's for sure. And the men just about to get on the blocks, starting the 200 IM medley. The final. Consolation race, excuse me. And a good start off the butterfly. You see early on in lane 3, Brandon Norman from SMU, the senior. You see the yellow cap in between the white caps. That's Esteban Araya from ECU. Starting on the backstroke now. Quick on the turn in lane 3 was Brandon Norman. Senior competing in his last 200-yard IM.
He looks very smooth on that backstroke.
Going into the breaststroke now. And ECU's Esteban Araya trying to come back.
Esteban making a comeback on that breaststroke.
But coming out last under the water was Brandon Norman.
Trying to hold off Esteban.
Looks like next to Esteban, Mark Hunter from Connecticut coming up strong on the freestyle. And Mark Hunter with the lead with the last 25 to go. Esteban Araya trying to come back.
But Brandon looks like he's holding on.
And that is Mark Hunter from Connecticut with the win. In second, Esteban Araya, and in third is Ronan Farr. We see the final results there. Mark Hunter from UConn finishing with the final time of 1:49.65, followed by Esteban Araya from ECU with 1:50.27, and SMU's Ronan Farr 1:50.45 to finish in the third spot. So that was the men's 200 IM consolation meet, excuse me.
Some great final splits. Garrett Carson with a 25.78 and Sisman Golizik with a 25.77. Some great last laps by those guys.
Pool empty now, just waiting for the participants of the final. Make their entrance into the natatorium. See Tristan Taylor, the sophomore from ECU, leading them off in lane 1. Now in lane 4, we see Fran Kazarnik from ECU. He's the defending champion. He had a prelim time of 1:47.05.
Great time by him. That's an NCAA B cut as well.
First swim we'll see today where a defending champion is defending a medal in this race. So.
Let's see if Fran can defend his title here.
There he is. Looks like he's ready to go. Lane 1, we have Tristan Taylor from ECU, his teammate. Lane 2, Tyler Rare from Cincinnati, the senior. Kiersey from Connecticut. And like we said, in lane 4, Fran Kazarnik from ECU, the defending champions. In lane 5, Matt Zagany from Connecticut. In lane 6, Brandon Keller from Cincinnati. In lane 7, Nathan Jones from Cincinnati as well. And in lane 8, Josh Parmenter from ECU. And they're on the blocks, about to get this race underway. And they're off in the 200-yard IM.
Some strong starts by these guys.
But Will Kiersey was off to a good start from Connecticut in lane 3.
Touching first at the wall.
Moving into the backstroke. For Will Kiersey in the top spot right now. Tristan Taylor from ECU. And next to Taylor, next to Kiersey right now in the second spot is the defending champion, Fran. Moving into the breaststroke now. Fran in lane 4, staying neck and neck with Kiersey.
Trying to take that lead.
It looks like he will on this turn. Fran, the senior, trying to defend his gold.
Very strong breaststroke leg by Fran. Currently breaking apart from the pack.
And as he goes into the freestyle, he'll try to create even more separation. Almost a body length away now is the second place finisher in Tyler Rare.
Incredible last leg by Fran.
Fran going strong, defending his gold. And it looks like he will get it. Fran Kazarnik from ECU defending his gold medal, the men's 200-yard IM. Finishing in second was Matt from Connecticut. And in third was Kiersey from Connecticut as well. You see the final standings there for the men's 200 IM. Fran Kazarnik from ECU defending his gold medal. Great race from him.
Great race from Fran.
Stayed pretty close with Will Kiersey throughout most of the way, and then in that in that breaststroke, he just created some separation, and the freestyle was no competition, it seemed like.
Very, very strong breaststroke leg by Fran. That's kind of the part of the race where people are either made or broken in a 200 IM. And he certainly showed us what he was made of. He did a great job there and held everyone off on that freestyle.
A smile from the senior, defending his gold medal successfully for the last time. Two-time defending champion now is Fran Kazarnik from ECU. Let's just quickly take a look back at what we just saw. A great race from all three medalists. And here we go, off to the start. You know, it looked like ECU's Tristan Taylor in lane 1 was off, had a good jump for the backstroke, for the butterfly, excuse me. And as we go here, Fran started to create some separation. Started to create some gap in the breaststroke you see right there in lane 4. And we moved over to the freestyle, and this is where he truly created his separation. And ended up winning it for the second year in a row. And now you see the women's 50-yard freestyle consolation heat. Their participants just getting loose, preparing for a quick race. But before we get there, we're going to take a quick break. You're watching the American Athletic Conference Championships on the American Digital Network.
This is a classroom. This is a lab.
This is a study break.
This is family.
This is our backyard.
This is Yukon.
When learning creates leaders, ideas are ignited, focus gets sharper, and service connects generations. We commit our expertise to heal, to discover, and to drive our region forward to a brighter tomorrow. East Carolina University. Tomorrow starts here.
We're back in Houston. We just saw Fran Krasarnik win the 200-yard individual medley. Individual medley, and he beat his personal best by 1/100th of a second. That personal best came in last year's championships. There's Will Kiersey there accepting the bronze from the University of Connecticut with a finals time of 1:48.47. His teammate Matt excited as well, taking the silver. It was all about this man, Fran Krasarnik from ECU. Defending his gold. He's definitely excited about that race. Great finish from the senior. And Danny's over there with Fran.
I'm here with Fran, the winner of the men's 200-yard IM, defending his gold medal from last year. How did that race feel, and how does that set you up for the rest of this week?
I really enjoyed that race, and I'm happy that I'm first. And that's pretty much it.
You did an amazing job. That was great to watch. Congratulations. Back to you, AB.
Thank you, Danny. The young man from Croatia defending his gold medal, like we said. Great to see him accomplish what he came here to do. Now the women's 50-yard freestyle consolation heat about to get underway. We'll give you your lane assignments. In lane 1, Paris Zhang from Tulane, the sophomore. In lane 2, Gabriela Vieira, the freshman from Tulane. In lane 3, Katie Gobb from Cincinnati. In lane 4, Eliza Manning from UConn. In lane 5, Aaron Traha from SMU. In lane 6, Eric Polick, the junior from ECU. Lane 7, Tara Nicholas, senior from SMU. And in lane 8, Logan Grumman, junior from ECU. You might have heard it over the PA there, just introducing the men's 1-meter divers at the diving well. That event will take place just over about maybe 30 minutes from now. But first we have the women's and men's 50 freestyle races. And Danny, I know these are the races you were waiting for, the sprints.
Yes, excited to see these sprints. They've had these consolation heat sitting out here for quite some time, and I know being a 50 swimmer that definitely can have some effect on a race. This is all mental. It's 100% perfection. And sometimes a little bit too much of a break can be a tough thing to bounce back from on this race. It's a short race. Ideally 22, 23 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, the prelim, this is the consolation heat, and the top time in the prelims from this race came from Eliza Manning at 2:23.44 and from Erin Traha with the same time. They tied in the prelims, setting them up in lanes 4 and 5 in this consolation heat. Danny, we'll definitely talk about your experiences in the 50 freestyle in between this race and the final. But just for now, I mean, when you're making this race as they get on the blocks here, it's definitely a quick start.
Absolutely. This race is start, turn, and finish. And anything you do in between has to be 100% perfect.
And they're already halfway there. We see the red cap in the lead right now. That's SMU's Erin Traha. Coming in strong.
She is holding on that finish.
She's holding on, and it looks like it was Logan Grumman in lane 8 from ECU just coming in towards the end.
Some outer lane heat over there.
Great stuff. Finishing second was Erin Traha from SMU, and in third looked like Eliza Manning from Connecticut. We'll see the final results here.
Tough race, separated by hundredths of a second.
It's usually how these go, I assume.
Absolutely.
From what I've seen in the past. So, you know, Danny, what was your experience like swimming over at Fresno State? This was your premier race. You're the one race you always look forward to at every meet.
I mean, it was definitely a great experience. I love the 50 free. I mean, that was my bread and butter event in college, and I look forward to it every meet. I mean, the splash and dash is what they call it. As fast as possible, complete perfection. I mean, these girls have to put in a ton of training for an event that only lasts 22 to 23 seconds long. But you're out there with the rest of them training 3 hours a day, swimming, weight training. A big part of these sprints is weight training outside the pool.
And here come the participants for the women's 50-yard freestyle. You might see her there in the 4th spot. That's Jacqueline Keir from Cincinnati with her goggles already on, the black cap. Walking by the camera right there. She will be ready to go. The senior, she arrives here in Houston, the Americans' 2-time outstanding female swimmer of the year. She's won a total of 8 conference championship titles in her first 3 conference meets. This one, her 4th one, obviously. And that included gold medals in the 50, 100, and 200 freestyle events last season.
That alone is a feat. To go from the 50 all the way to the 200, those are completely different races, and that is amazing.
And she is the defending champion, in her time last year, and last year's championship meet was 22:31, with her prelim time this morning being 22:50. So I'm sure we can expect something under 22:50 in this race if she's going to give it her all. And you see her right there just loosening up, getting ready for a big race.
With no mistakes, we can certainly see lower than a 22:50. Oftentimes in the 50s, people don't hold back, but you don't necessarily give 100%. So we will see what she has to offer tonight.
And the introduction's just ending there. Fans getting ready for a much anticipated race on the women's side. Jacqueline Keir in lane 4. Keep an eye out on her. And there she is.
Great start.
Good start from her, Jacqueline Keir.
See what she does off this turn. She's
first on the turn.
First off the wall. Let's see if she can hold everyone off.
Coming in quick, the senior, Jacqueline Keir from Cincinnati, trying to defend her gold. And she will do it. Jacqueline Keir coming in at 22:19.
Incredible time. Amazing swim by Jacqueline. Huge drop from this morning to this evening. Flawless swim.
There you see the final time. Jacqueline Keir, 22:19. And in second place, Hannah Rogers from SMU. In third, her teammate, Vicky Cunningham, at 22:88. But Jacqueline Keir just does it again in the 50. Just unbelievable, unbelievable champion.
Jacqueline Keir off that start. First off the block. Comes into that turn first. Just an incredible swim. Keeps that speed throughout. And just holds everyone off for that last 12 and a half. Brings it home strong with those legs. I mean, incredible. She beat everyone by half a second.
You know, she wasn't able to defend her 200-yard freestyle, but coming in strong on the 50-yard freestyle. We'll be right back with the award ceremony after this on the American Digital Network.
For every hero, there is an origin story. An experience that made them who they are. For a new generation of explorers, pioneers, and innovators, that experience is calling. Offering a different kind of education. One guided by distinguished professors who understand experience as the best teacher. Greatness lies beyond the classroom. This is where you start. University of Cincinnati. Do more.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
We're back in Houston. You see Cincinnati's team there. Their teammates, Jacqueline Keir, just won the women's 50-yard freestyle, gold medalist, finishing with a time of 22:19. There's Vicky Cunningham from SMU accepting the bronze medal. Her teammate about to make her way to the podium. There's Hannah Rogers. And the swimmer of the moment, Jacqueline Keir from Cincinnati. Well-deserved applause, well-deserved. Just a great swimmer. The senior from Ontario, competing in the 50 freestyle. And Danny standing by with the All-American.
I'm here with Jacqueline Keir, winner of the women's 50-yard freestyle. Jacqueline, new meet record, amazing race. That was phenomenal. How does that set you up for the rest of this meet?
I think pretty well, actually. I need that beginning speed in my 200, so for tomorrow it's looking pretty good.
Great. Well, we look forward to watching you swim. Thank you so much. Back to you, AB.
Thank you, Danny. Some great stuff from Jacqueline Keir. She's looking forward to tomorrow and the rest of the tournament. Now for the championship, she'll just be cheering her teammates on for the rest of the night. She'll be ready to go tomorrow evening for the women's 200-yard freestyle, defending her gold for the 4th consecutive year. Amazing stuff. Well, right now we're about to get the men's 50-yard freestyle underway, the consolation heat. You heard the lane assignments there. In lane 1, Kristen Strubel from SMU. In lane 2, Dan Krenza from Connecticut. In lane 3, Connor Davis, the senior from Cincinnati. And they're off in the consolation heat. In lane 4, we saw Victor Martinez dos Santos. Lane 5, Earl Craven. In 6, Holder. 7, Shazanik. And in 8, Hostafer. They're making their way in the final 25. About 10 yards to go in the race.
Looks like lane 3.
Lane 3 is Connor Davis, the senior. And then he will take first place in the consolation heat. Coming in a close second is Martins dos Santos with a difference of 10 100ths of a second between first and second.
Great job by those guys.
Good race for Connor Davis, the senior. Closing off his 50-yard freestyle with the win. There you see the final results. Connor Davis from Cincinnati coming in at 20.51. Like I said, separation of 10 100ths of a second between him and Dos Santos at 20.61. And in third place, we saw Peyton Holder at 20.7.
Very common in this race to be separated by 100th of a second, a 10th of a second. It all comes down to the little things in a 50 free.
That's what makes these 50-yarders so much enjoyable to watch, you know, as a fan of swimming. And even if those here actually come the top 8 finalists for this event. And we just saw in the 4th lane there, Jiga Zerkofnik from SMU, the defending champion, the senior as well. So, you know, a similar story between him and Jacqueline Keir and the other swimmers we saw today. The seniors just trying to cement their place in the record books. Well, they already have. They're just trying to extend that, I guess, you know, just build their reputation and win as many golds as they possibly can.
Absolutely. You want to make sure you leave your mark as a senior, and they're certainly doing it.
There's Zerkofnik there, just getting loose, getting ready for one of the biggest races of his collegiate career. In lane 1, we have Nick Batsky from SMU. In lane 2, Alex Fortman, the freshman from Cincinnati. In lane 3, James Donlevy from Connecticut. And in lane 4, the defending champ, Jiga Zerkofnik from SMU. In lane 5, John Meyer from ECU. In lane 6, Gustavo Santos, the freshman from ECU. In 7, Maxime Cadiat from ECU. And in 8, Ralph Koo from SMU. And they're off. Jiga Zerkofnik trying to come off to a quick start from SMU.
Great start.
In lane 4, we see the yellow cap right behind him, John Meyer, staying quick. And in lane 3, James Donlevy, strong off the turns, coming down to the end. Who's it going to be?
Looks
and in
like
first place,
James.
it's John Meyer from ECU taking the gold.
Great swim.
What a race.
20.11 for first.
Coming in second was James Donlevy from UConn, and in third was the defending champ, Zerkofnik. Here you see the results right there. John from ECU, what a good race from him, coming in at 20.11. Full 20 100ths of a second quicker than his prelims time. Taking down the defending champ. Let's take a quick look at it once again. You can see John Meyer in ECU in lane 5. The yellow cap stands out. And it wasn't until the turn at the 25 where he just really started to pick up speed.
He certainly started to break away at the turn. It actually looked like from the start, James Donnelly from Connecticut was in the lead.
He's just excited there, throwing his arms up. I don't know if he believes it right now that he swam that race the way he just did.
It was a great race, great back half speed on Matt.
Well, the award ceremony will take place shortly, but we'll take a quick break on the American Digital Network.
When learning creates leaders, ideas are ignited, focus gets sharper, and service connects generations. We commit our expertise to heal, to discover, and to drive our region forward to a brighter tomorrow. East Carolina University. Tomorrow starts here.
This is a classroom.
This is a lab.
This is a study break.
This is family.
This is our backyard.
This is UConn.
And we're back at the University of Houston. Just witnessed a great race, the men's 50-yard freestyle. And it was John Myra from ECU, the junior, taking the gold, defeating defending champion Jiga Sirkovnik from SMU, who came away with the bronze himself. So definitely not the result he wanted from this race, but a good way to end your career in the 50-yard freestyle with the medal. Coming in second in that race was James Donlevy from Connecticut, another senior, so a good way to cap off his 50-yard freestyle event. There's Jiga Sirkovnik accepting the bronze. Still a good smile on his face. That's good to see from the senior in his last 50-yard freestyle event. That's James Donlevy, senior as well from Connecticut. And the junior who outraced them both, John Myra from ECU, finishing with a time of 20.11. And Danny is standing by with the champion.
I'm here with John Meyer, winner of the men's 50-yard freestyle, sprinter to sprinter. That was incredible. How does that set you up for the rest of this meet?
It was incredible. Last year, I just kind of had a little off race. Didn't feel very good, and this morning kind of was feeling tight from last night, but tonight I felt ready to go and just got the adrenaline going and got excited and had a good race.
Well, that was certainly a fast swim, and we look forward to seeing you the rest of this meet. Thank you so much. Back to you, AB.
Thank you, Danny. It was a great race indeed. The junior winning gold in the men's 50-yard freestyle. See some swimmers in the pool just staying loose, staying limber. But we're going to take a break from the swimming now, and we're going to move over to the men's 1-meter diving. If you watched our broadcast yesterday, we saw the men's and women's diving events, and Bryce Klein in the 3-meter men's just destroyed the competition, just left left it all out there. And now we're going to get things underway. Here's
the final round of the men's 1-meter diving championship. In respect to the divers, a reminder, please, there is no flash photography allowed during the competition. Again, please, no flash photography throughout the competition. All right, beginning our first diver, Spencer, 105B.
And here's Spencer Beaulieu from Connecticut, the senior, attempting a forward somersault pike. A good height off that board, just didn't look like he stepped on the end of the board on the jump. But a good average score to start off in round one. He was quick with the spins, quick on the somersaults.
Brought him to a 48.10.
Here's Kyle Kennedy from UConn as well. Some more good spin. Looks like he might have been a little bit late on that entry. But more good average scores for Kyle Kennedy.
Our third diver, Ivan, doing a 403, 2.4.
Here's Isaac Karn. Just have some confusion with the names that are on the board. That was Isaac Karn diving from Cincinnati, the freshman. We'll just take a second to correct the names. Coming up next, right there on the board, is Tyler Berkey. He'll step off. We'll just try to figure out what this problem is. Let's take a look at this last dive. Backward pike. Looked like he kept his legs up straight from the hips, close to the chest. That was good. But they had to hold off on the scores. Not sure exactly what final score he received. And right now the divers will just stand by until the scoreboard issue is resolved. So, well, Danny, we saw earlier during the swims, you know, some more technical difficulties, and hopefully they'll get them resolved soon. We'll take a quick break on the American Digital Network.
At SMU, students and faculty work hand in hand to shape answers to real-world challenges.
Yes, there's no such thing as a lesser person.
How can we strengthen human rights around the world?
It turns out computer malware is extremely...
How do we prevent cyber terrorism?
The limb comes off.
How can the human body set new records of performance? What can presidents teach us about leadership? From the SMU campus in Dallas, we're shaping the answers that will shape the future of the world.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
And we're back with the men's 1-meter diving. That is Taylor Berkey from ECU. Good oscillation from the board. Quick spins as well.
And with that, we have a 6, 5.5, 6.
And we can disregard the names on the board. For some reason, the names are not showing up correctly, but this is Zach Duvall from ECU. Good height, but looked like he might have crimped on the pike there. But some good scores. Maybe the best one we've seen so far.
Great job.
now is Louis Hunt from Cincinnati.
He is doing a 52-33 E, degree 2.5.
Off the toes on the board. Good height, quick spin, a little bit early on the entry.
Total of 41.25 on that round.
Here's Dan Kinney, junior from Connecticut. Career difficulty on this dive at 2.6. Great height and rotation on that pike.
Beautiful dive.
That's some five in those scores right there. And the man of the moment, Bryce Klein, about to make his first dive of the men's 1 meter championship. Attempting a backward somersault tuck for his first dive. Degree of difficulty 3.0. Good spin and rotation on the top. So we'll see not the best score that Bryce was accepting, mainly because of his entry, it looked like, into the water. It wasn't as at 90 degrees like it should be. Came in a little bit late. We'll see on the slow motion replay here. He had that same issue yesterday towards the end.
Let's see if he can make this up here in the next 5 rounds.
Here's Spencer Beaulieu from Connecticut. And again, that was not the best start off the board for Spencer. And the scores reflect that with a 38.4.
Total of 86.50 for round 2.
We have Kyle Kennedy from Connecticut, freshman, competing in his first championships. Off the back, perhaps not as much oscillation off the board as he would have hoped. But good entry into the water. Good effort score. Up next, Isaac Karn from Cincinnati. Good height and rotation on that pike.
Good entry on that dive as well.
Good score for Isaac Karn.
Brings him up to 91.30.
See in the replay, he's kept his feet pointed up during the entry. Great rotation on that dive.
Fabulous dive
from Taylor Berkey. And good score, 7s across the board for 54.6 from Taylor Berkey from ECU.
Certainly a great dive by Taylor.
Zach Duvall, the senior from ECU. 3.0 on the difficulty scale. Good height and rotation off that tuck.
Great job.
And 6 across, except that 5.5 in the front.
Brings him to a total of 108.60. Great score.
Here we are with Louis Hunt, sophomore from Cincinnati. First dive came at 41.25. See him on the pike. A little bit back on the entry.
6.5, 6. 6.5.
Good scores. Here's Dan Kinney from Connecticut. He had a good dive in his first go around. Backward somersault pike. Just a quick, easy backward somersault. A little loose with the pike, but great scores depending on that entry there. So continuing, good swimming for him, good diving for him, excuse me. Feet stayed pointed, came in and right at 90 degrees. And
great entry.
Here's Bryce Klein, the junior from SMU. Just amazing height off a 1 meter board.
Definitely redeemed himself on that one. That was great.
Bryce Klein, he did indeed, Danny. 62.4 on that total of 113.40. You can see on the slow-mo. Kept his feet pointed that time. The entry was much better, allowing himself to get a better score. Here's Spencer. Oh, and came off that twist late, coming straight on his belly. Teammates cheering him on, trying to keep him motivated. Still has 3 rounds to go after this, but the scores will not reflect what he had intended. And there we go, 9.10. From Spencer Bully. His teammate now, Kyle Kennedy. Tried to come in straight at a 90-degree angle on that entry.
5 and 1/2.
But maybe not the quickest on those somersaults.
Yes, definitely looks like he could have been a little bit quicker there.
Didn't ride the board as well as he should have. Much smoother entry into the water. But it was loose on those pikes, and I think he knows it. Total of 43.7. Here's Taylor Berkey from ECU.
3.0.
Like we said, you saw right there, great entry. Oh, great height, but just came in a little late into the water there. You could see it on the entry.
Some great spins as well, but
yeah, but that entry is going to hurt him, and yeah, it definitely did. 40.5. Here's Zachary Duvall from ECU. Yeah, you can see it right there on the replay. Came in a little too late. Too early, excuse me. Zachary Duvall attempting backward somersault pike.
Teammates very happy about that one.
They know when they see a good dive. And that was one of them. Here's Louis Hunt. We're in round 3 now. Definitely some good tucks there, keeping his feet where he needed them. See on the replay. Yeah, it's just those feet splash back towards the end. Some kickback on the entry. Here's Dan Kinney. Good height off the board.
Great spins.
Just a little back on the entry there as well. And probably the reason he had some points deducted from the score. Here's Bryce Klein in round 3. And Kane just came out of that tuck way too late. Here's Bryce Klein in his 3rd dive. Reverse somersault tucks.
Beautiful job by Bryce. Great spin, great entry. It's amazing to watch.
Scores have not come up yet. And they're great. 70.50. So after the first dive being average, Bryce Klein has definitely stepped it up in the next 2. And 4th round about to get underway with Spencer Beaulieu. A little bit late on the entry, you can see that his feet coming back towards the end of the entry. There you go, 37.95 for Spencer. Here's Kyle Kennedy. Freshman teammate. Good height off the board, good on the somersaults. We'll see how the pike looked on the slow-mo. Good scores for Kyle.
His teammates happy about that one.
Yeah, you know, he kept his legs straight for the pike. That's what you need to do. Good takeoff as well. Here's Isaac Karn from Cincinnati. Another good-looking pike there. This time from the freshman from Cincinnati.
Good-looking entry as well.
Keep his legs a little closer to the chest. You can see some gap there. If you want your full points, you have to keep those legs as close to your chest as possible. Here's Taylor Berkey. Degree of difficulty on that dive was a 2.3. Total score 43.7. There's that through the ball from ECU. His total score right now 159.20. That dive. Good twist halfway through. Trying to come into the entry.
Some good scores there.
Louis, 203B, 2.3.
Here's Cincinnati's Louis Hunt. Going for a backward somersault pike. Good scores from him. Moves it up to 194.75.
Great scores across the board.
Here's Dan Kinney, junior from UConn. Inward somersault tuck. maybe not coming out of those tucks as quick as he needs to. You could hear his coach yelling that to him right there. He had a similar issue on his previous dive. Just trying to come out of those tucks quick enough. You see it right there. He's coming out late, and the entry into the water just created too much splash. Here's Bryce Klein. He redeemed himself in the last 2 dives. First one not as great as he expects, but round 4, Bryce Klein still our leader. Degree of difficulty 3.2. See right there, he attempted 2 forward somersaults with a twist pike in between, but the entry just came in a little too late. And those scores reflected, so not what Bryce was looking for, but he gets some leeway from the judges based on the difficulty of that dive. Just a lot of action going on from the 1 meter, Danny.
Absolutely.
Let's start around 5 now. Spencer. Some quick twists there off the board. Maybe didn't ride it as well. A little bit more height would have definitely helped on the entry.
5.5, 5.5, 6, 6, 5.
And he is brought up to 179.80 next round. Hopefully beating his score from this morning, 252.80.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see how this final tally ends up. Here's Kyle Kennedy. Some good twists. His teammate sitting right in front of us is excited about it.
5.5, 5.5, 5.5.
He attempted 1.5 somersaults. Maybe on that twist came in too much, kind of sideways there.
A little sideways on that twist.
Here's Isaac Karn from Cincinnati, the freshman. Came right off the end of the board on that jump. Got some good height. Leads to good entry. Difficulty was 2.6. Taylor Berkey from ECU. It was a reverse somersault pike, but the entry definitely not what he wanted. Get a better look at it on the replay.
4.5, 4, 3.5, 4, 3 1/2.
Let's take a quick look at what might have been the issue.
2.6.
Now he just looks like he just lost it after he came out of that hike. Not sure what really happened. Looked like he had it under control and then it just came off towards the side. So here's Zach Duvall from ECU. And that one he came in much straighter than his teammate.
Teammate's very happy about that.
I'm not sure if he'll be as happy with those scores. Pretty average scores there for Zach.
50.70 for that round.
Here's Louis Hunt from Cincinnati. Might get some points taken off based on that entry for him. Quick scores coming in this time, 42. And Dan Kinney from Connecticut. Good twist off the top. Get a better look at it on the replay. See what the judges say. Total 49.4.
Right.
So he was really quick on the twist, but lost a little bit of control halfway down. Here's Bryce Klein in round 5. Inward somersault tuck. Degree of difficulty 3.1. So again with that entry, definitely something Bryce is looking out for in this event. I mean, you know, good scores for Bryce, but Danny could have been a little bit better if that entry was a little creamier.
Absolutely. We've seen some great diving by Bryce, but a little bit of trouble today with the entries on the 1 meter. But still, great diving. Great job by Bryce.
He's just arching over just a tad, which is making his entry that much difficult. Here's Spencer starting the final round.
Looks like a clean entry by Spencer.
Inward somersault pike. Got a 7 up there.
Brought up to 222.85 as his final score.
Here's Kyle Kennedy from UConn. Good twist off the jump. Ride the board really well.
Teammates very happy about that one. He's brought up to 271.50, beating his time from this morning.
Here's Isaac Karn from Cincinnati.
Final score, 273.70. Score this morning, 262.65. Great improvement by Isaac.
Here's Taylor Berkey from ECU. Very close to the board on that one. But overall, looked like a good dive. The degree of difficulty was 3.1. Tried his best to pull it off, getting 57.35.
Some good scores there. Ends up with 261.
Here's Zach DeVault from ECU. Zach, not too quick on those somersaults.
Looked like a great entry, though.
Made up for it. You can see on the replay that pike was really good. He just kept his knees up to his chest, his legs straight. Exactly what he needed. Here's Louis Hunt. Right now he stands at 236.75. Great twists, but once again, that entry came in pretty smooth, but just looked a little bit to the side. And yeah, that's why we see those 6s on the board.
Brought up to 284.85. Beat his score from this morning.
And just a quick correction on those scores. Another 6.5. So that moves him up to 49.40, total of 286.15. Here we go with Daniel Kinney, his last dive of this event.
3.0.
It's good height off the board, rode it well. Good twist. 6 is across, 54. And moves him to 297.45.
And our final diver for the championship 1 meter contest, Bryce.
And here's Bryce Klein,
3.0.
looking to defend his medal once again. The junior from SMU. That was definitely one of his best dives of the event. Good way to cap it off for him. 7s and 7.5s across the board.
Finishing very strong, Bryce.
Outstanding job, audience. Thank you, judges.
And Bryce Klein will do it once again, capturing the gold for the second night in a row, this time in the men's 1 meter diving. No, he finished around 377, I think, for his final meet, for his final point total in this race, but better than his prelims. Not as good as he did last year, however. He scored 400.55, Danny, so it was probably that first dive that really messed up his point total there, but still able to get the victory.
Still able to come back after that first dive, which is great. Diving is so mental. So to be able to bounce back off of that is great to watch.
And we'll just go ahead and take a quick break. You see Bryce Klein there talking with his coach. We'll be back after this.
At SMU, students and faculty work hand in hand to shape answers to real-world challenges.
Yes, there's no such thing as a lesser person.
How can we strengthen human rights around the world?
It turns out computer malware is extremely...
How do we prevent cyber terrorism?
The limb comes off.
How can the human body set new records of performance? What can presidents teach us about leadership? From the SMU campus in Dallas, we're shaping the answers that will shape the future of the world.
When learning creates leaders, ideas are ignited, focus gets sharper, and service connects generations. We commit our expertise to heal, to discover, and to drive our region forward to a brighter tomorrow. East Carolina University. Tomorrow starts.
When it comes to learning at Tulane University, there are no boundaries. Architects and scientists in New Orleans, doctors and public health experts in Africa, history and language scholars in Latin America, legal students and professors in Europe, business students in Asia. Tulaneans are all over the globe, and the world is their oyster. We've got that, and a lot more, right here at Tulane University.
Okay, and we are back after the men's 1 meter diving. We just saw Bryce Klein win it for SMU, defending his gold medal once again. Did not break his meet record, but still gets the W and the gold medal for his team. The award ceremony just about to take place. And let's take a quick look at the top 3 finishers in the men's 1 meter diving. There we go with the 3rd place finisher. Some just quick dives. That was a great twist on that. We see a good somersault tuck there. Good entry into the water. Here's Zach Duvall finishing 2nd. Good entry there. He kept his pike there. And here's Bryce Klein, the champion for the 2nd year in a row. Just incredible stuff, how much he can do in a 1 meter dive. The power he gets off the board, off the oscillations, is the main reason he can just do so much. Very athletic in his form. Well-deserving medal for him. Now you hear the top 3 names about to be announced. There's Zach Duvall from ECU, the senior. Good way to finish his diving career with the silver medal. And like we said yesterday, a man of the moment, showing good sportsmanship there before he accepts his gold from his coach. I'm sure that's a great honor for Bryce. Very proud moment for all 3 young men. And Bryce is over with Danny for the 2nd night in a row. Danny?
Line of SMU, winner of the men's 1 meter diving. Bryce, you defended your title from last year. Congratulations on that. But you also won last night the men's 3 meter diving. What does that mean to you for this meet?
Well, the fact that I get to compete here with a team that I get to compete with is a true blessing. And whenever I get on the boards and have them there supporting me, it doesn't matter how it goes. It means the world to me. So to defend the title, individual stuff is great. But the fact that our team is here and competing for a title as a team is something that is very special to me. So I'm really excited tomorrow to give it another shot on the next event. And I'm just so proud of my team for fighting.
Absolutely. Well, we look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Great job again. And back to you, AB.
Thank you, Danny. Bryce Klein earning 20 more points for his team, but the standings still stay the same for the men's, with ECU out on top with 152. In 2nd, University of Connecticut at 145. In 3rd, University of Cincinnati at 143. And in 4th, SMU at 112. So Bryce helping his team out as much as he can, but it's going to have to be SMU's swimmers that really get the momentum rolling for that team if they want to try to move up in the standings. Right now, the final 2 events now for the evening, it will be the women's 200-yard freestyle relay we're about to watch right now. The final medal match of the evening. We have 6 teams competing for the women. East Carolina University in lane 2, and lane 3 SMU. In 4, U of H. In 5, University of Cincinnati. In 6, Tulane. And in 7, UConn. University of Houston coming in with the quickest seed time. And they are off. Quick start after the on your marks call.
Great start by Caitlin Horner of U of H. First swimmer out.
Definitely. There we go off the turn. This is the 200-yard freestyle relay. So it's 1 lap each.
Looks like we have SMU touching first.
SMU did touch first. But a good entry from U of H's Laura Lauro. She swam earlier today, did well, won gold. Trying to keep the momentum going for her team. But it is, like you said, SMU's Erin Trahan now.
Coming in first for the trade-off.
And her teammate, Audrey Santa, is in the pool. Just about to make the turn for her length. SMU still in the lead, but ECU in lane 2 coming up quick.
Got Katherine Johnson with a great 3rd leg of this relay.
And U of H's Serena Brown staying as close as she can. SMU in the lead in the final lap. But ECU's Tori Angermeyer trying to go quick, and over in lane 5, University of Cincinnati making a push. It's SMU. Looks like they're still in the top spot, coming down to the final.
See what Jacqueline
But coming
Keir.
down in lane 5 is Jacqueline Keir, and SMU. Cincinnati will win it. Jacqueline Keir wins the gold for her team. The anchor in the 200 yard freestyle relay.
Anchor split of 21.63. That
Unbelievable.
That is an amazing split. I can't even believe what I just saw. She brought it from behind all the way up to first with a split of 21.62. Unheard of.
The
split.
senior
That is phenomenal.
The senior just working her heart out as much as she can, pushing it for her team. You see the final standings there. Cincinnati, Jacqueline Keir, 131.04. Finishing second was SMU. Stayed in there pretty well. And then Houston, the host school, at 131.61. Here's the replay. This is how they started off. We saw East Carolina off to a good start. SMU was in there the entire time. But Cincinnati just stormed back. We see them on the second runs here. Like we said, Danny, SMU still off to the lead, off the turn there. And that was Aaron Traha from SMU. And, can't say it enough. SMU, they're still in the lead on third swimmer. And coming in on the touch right here, it was still them. Look how far behind Jacqueline Keir had to start off.
It is unbelievable what she just did. I can't even put it into words. She came all the way from the back to win this race. Phenomenal job, phenomenal split. Almost a full second faster than anyone else in this heat.
Jacqueline Keir just doing a great job. Cincinnati, first swimmer off the block was Lindsay Nahas, and then Michaela Wheeler, Katie Gobb, the sophomore, and then the senior, the anchor for Cincinnati, Jacqueline Keir, winning it for her team. Just amazing stuff. Great to watch. You don't really get to see Jacqueline Keir. We just saw her, in the 50 earlier this evening. Swim her heart out, and she did it once again. We're going to take a quick break before the award ceremony. You're watching the American Athletic Conference Championships on the American Digital Network.
For every hero, there is an origin story. An experience that made them who they are. For a new generation of explorers, pioneers, and innovators, that experience is calling, offering a different kind of education, one guided by distinguished professors who understand experience is the best teacher. Greatness lies beyond the classroom. This is where you start. University of Cincinnati. Do more.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
And we're back at the University of Houston, the American Athletic Conference Championships 2017 at the University of Houston. Just great stuff. We just saw University of Cincinnati win the 200-yard freestyle relay with the anchor senior Jacqueline Keir with an amazing finish in the fourth leg of that race, giving her team the gold medal. You hear the announcements. The teams right now, University of Houston being awarded the bronze medal. They're excited. Host school getting medals. It's always an exciting time for that. SMU finishing with silver. Hannah Rogers, Aaron Traha, Audrey Santa, and Vicky Cunningham for SMU. For Houston right there, it was Caitlin Horner, Laura Latero, Zarina Brown, and Sina Yaskova. Great for SMU as well. Started off with three seniors, on the team, with Aaron Traha, the freshman, in the middle. Just great stuff to see. And here is the gold medal team for Cincinnati. Jacqueline Keir and Wheeler still have they're still ready to go. It's excited. What a great moment for Cincinnati. Their cap's still on. Jacqueline Keir is all smiles. Gold, silver, and bronze. I think Cincinnati fans can talk about this one for a long time coming. Seeing Jacqueline Keir come back from behind, take it away from SMU. The final second, those split times were unbelievable from Keir and the rest of her teammates. There's only a difference of about 8 1/100th of a second. It seemed much quicker than that. But that's how dominant Jacqueline Keir was in that last 50 for her team. And Danny's over there with the gold medalist. Danny?
I'm here with the winners of the women's 200-yard freestyle relay from Cincinnati. Congratulations, girls. You came back from behind. Amazing, amazing job. Like, I mean, that race gave me chills. What do you think about that?
Honestly, after seeing what these girls went in the 50 before that, really, I knew we could have it. We just had to put it together nicely, and they did. They did an amazing job.
And what was going through your head? I mean, last swimmer, 21.63. Incredible split. I mean, I was a sprinter myself, so mad respect. What are you feeling?
Honestly, I wanted to do it for them. I think we deserved it. I think they deserve it, so I knew I could handle it.
Well, great job, girls. I mean, watching that gave me chills. Phenomenal job. Good luck the rest of this meet. That was great. Back to you, AB.
Thank you, Danny. Cincinnati, they are all smiles. You can see Keir's teammate just pointing to her, giving her the credit in this race. I mean, it's a team effort. That's why they call it a relay. But, you know, they're going to just keep talking about Jacqueline Keir. Just can't get enough of that performance. Outstanding stuff from the senior. But now we're about to move on to the final event of the evening, the men's 200-yard freestyle relay. And if Cincinnati can just try to keep the momentum going, they're going to have a good race here. They had the best seeded time of 1:21.72. See them right there getting ready for this relay. Only 4 teams, SMU in lane 3, in lane 4 is Cincinnati, and in lane 5 is ECU, and in lane 6, University of Connecticut. And that's Ralph Koo. Looks like he was first into the water for SMU. Following him is Cincinnati's Connor Davis, John Meyer in ECU in lane 5, and in UConn, Dan Krensa.
Now remember, John Meyer was the champion of the men's 50-yard free, so let's see what he's got in this first leg.
And it looks like ECU's John Meyer is going to hit first, but Connecticut's Kevin Konarski got a good jump. But ECU swimming strong on this freestyle.
Great
good turn there
by SMU. That was a fantastic turn, and that is actually going to put them in the lead. Let's see who gets the trade-off.
And it looks like it is SMU coming first out of the water there. That Jiga turn. And great stuff there. We'll see how we can continue this race.
SMU first off that turn, looking great, keeping it strong through that finish.
And that's Kristen Schrubel into the water for SMU. SMU separating themselves from the pack.
Almost a body length lead.
And a 200-yard freestyle. This is unbelievable from SMU. Coming in strong behind is also ECU, but it will not be enough. SMU's Christian Schrubel finishing it off for his team, winning the gold. East Carolina ECU coming in for the silver, and Cincinnati in a quick third for the bronze.
Final split of SMU, 20.31. Great split, but actually ECU came in with the fastest final leg at 20.22. So they were trying to catch up and get some ground back, but in this race, it's almost impossible. Once you start losing a lead, it is very, very hard to get it back. Such a short race, you have to make sure everything is perfect.
Well, let's take a look back at what we just saw, Danny, and you can see on the start, right when they take off, it looked like Daniel Koo had a good start. Ralph Koo had a great start off the board, but then ECU just kind of stayed ahead most of the time.
SMU had a great start, but it looked like ECU's underwaters were a little bit stronger off the first dive.
Definitely was stronger. SMU did a great job of coming off the boards. And I think, that might have propelled them to the victory. There you go on the last turn there. That's Christian Schrubel for SMU, and that gave them the victory. Teammates hands up in the air. They knew what they were in store for. They were ready to go. So fortunately for SMU, they get the gold in that race. ECU, coming off in second, with Cincinnati getting the bronze. Well, we just saw the men's 200-yard freestyle relay. Like we said, SMU taking the gold. We saw a lot of great action today from the swimmers. Jacqueline Keir stood out. We just saw her swim before this event. Great stuff, great swimming all around. Just go ahead and quickly recap before this award ceremony for the men's 200-yard freestyle of what we saw today. We started off with the women's 500-yard freestyle, which Emma Smith from Connecticut taking the gold, with Marion Ebert from ECU and Zarina Brown from U of H getting the bronze. And in the men's side, the men's 500-yard freestyle is Jonathan Gomez from SMU coming in at a 4:17.68 for the gold, with Den Selmanovic from Cincinnati with silver, and Christopher Breedy with the bronze from Cincinnati. And then later on to the women's 200-yard IM, we had Laura Lateral from U of H coming in at a time of just over 2 minutes. Samantha Wheely getting the silver for Cincinnati, and the bronze went to Tulane, Michelle Zelnick. Then we went on to the men's side, 200-yard IM. Fran Zartnik from ECU won that race with the gold. Matt from University of Connecticut got the silver, and Will Kiersey from UConn as well with the bronze. Good performances from UConn in that race. And then the quick races. We know they were Danny's favorite. Jacqueline Keir with a quick time of 22.15 in the 50-yard freestyle, getting the gold, defending her gold medal from last year. Hannah Rogers from SMU receiving the silver, and Vicki Cunningham from SMU as well with the bronze. And then in the men's side for the 50-yard freestyle, it was John Meyer with a 20.11 time. James Dunleavy, 20.22 for the silver. And Giga Zerkovnik, with a 20.27 for the bronze for SMU. And then we went over to diving, quick diving event, the men's 1-meter diving. Let's just go ahead and watch this award ceremony first. There's Cincinnati winning the bronze. Connor Davis, Alex Fortman, John Mataskis, and Aiton Holder. There's East Carolina ECU, John Meyer, Maxime Cadet, Gustavo Santos, and Victor Martins dos Santos as well. We saw John Meyer earlier today win the gold. And here's SMU doing great on these relays. Last night they did a good job, doing well again today. Ralph Koo, Nick Batsky, Giga Zerkovnik, and Christian Schubel accepting the award, the gold medal for SMU in the men's 200-yard freestyle relay. And Danny standing by with the gold medalists.
All right, I'm here with SMU, the champions of the men's 200-yard freestyle relay. Congratulations, guys. How do you feel about finishing the night with that kind of swim?
That was great. Same as last night. We definitely wanted it, and we showed it in the pool, so we're very, very pleased with it.
Absolutely. And how do you feel about tomorrow? Finishing a night like that, what are your expectations tomorrow?
Yeah, it just gives you that extra drive in the morning, you know, because you know that you did really good the night before, so it's a welcome achievement.
Well, awesome job. Congratulations again. Great swimming. Back to you.
Thank you, Danny. Speaking of SMU, Bryce Klein had a great day on the boards again in the 1-meter diving, winning gold again. Well, that does it for tonight's events. Day 2 is in the books. Tomorrow, day 3, things are just getting started here in Houston. We'll have some great events. The 400 IM for men and women. We got the 100 butterfly, the 200 freestyle, the 100 breaststroke, and we'll see the women's 3-meter diving, and then more women's 100 breaststroke, the women's 3-meter final, and then ending it off with the 400 medley relay. That's all coming up tomorrow evening. So we hope you join us once again on the American Digital Network alongside Danny Yoho and the entire broadcast team here in Houston. Thanks for watching. Good night.